All right, let's take a quick look at the StudioLive 16R. And I just kind of want to do a quick overview of the physical inputs and outputs on this unit. So it's one rack space, which is great. You've got 12 of the 16 inputs on front, and they're all combo jacks on the front and back. So you don't have to worry about like XLRs going in certain channels and then having to choose other channels just because those are the only ones that can take 1/4 inch inputs. They can all take either. You've got your headphone jack here and its level control. And in the software, you can choose what you want this to tap into. So you could have it be like the main mix, or you could have it listening to one of the output mixes on the back, mix 1 through 6. I usually just have it as tapped into the main mix, so you can listen to your mains, the speakers, or through this headphone jack. Obviously, the mute all button does exactly what it says, and then your SD card slot for multi-track recording. On the back, you've got your power and then on-off switch. The USB is for connecting to your computer, obviously, so you can either control this thing using universal control software, or you can use this to multi-track into your DAW, so like Logic or Pro Tools or whatever. Here's your Ethernet port for plugging a router in, and that allows you to control this with an iPad that's connected to that same router network. You probably won't need to use this if you're just using the unit by itself. This is for connecting to like the StudioLive mixer, and then you can use this as like just added inputs and outputs for that mixer. So we'll skip over that basically. Here's your mix outputs, or like your aux outs. This would be for like monitors, floor wedges if you're playing live, or in-ear monitors, or if you're in the studio, it would be for like your headphone mixes. Now, these are all mono outputs, so if you want a stereo headphone out for like in the studio, for instance, you would need to tie 1 and 2 of them or 1 and 2 together. So you get a Y cable that combines 2 mono signals into 1 stereo signal, and then plug that into your headphone amp. Obviously, main output left and right, they're just XLR, no 1/4 inch options for that. And then the remaining 4 inputs on the back, so 13, 14, 15, and 16. 15 and 16 also have RCA jacks, which I wouldn't try using both of these simultaneously. So like, don't try plugging in microphones into these while having these plugged into like your phone with like a weird adapter cord or something. I think you probably just want to pick one or the other. All right, and this is what the back looks like when it's set up in my studio. So obviously I've got the power here, and then USB is connected to the computer, Ethernet is connected to a router, so I can control it with universal control software either on my computer or from an iPad. And this also is what allows me to record into Logic. I don't need to use this right now. So then here's my left and right, just mono outs, but this is the cable I was talking about, so it's a Y cable. And the other end of it is the stereo end. So this plugs into your headphone amp, and that's how you get your stereo headphone mixes out of this. But again, you do have to tie together mix 1 and mix 2, which we'll talk about in the software later. But then you've got your XLR left and right. That's for your main output. That's what I have connected to my studio speakers. And again, just like if you're playing live, you'd want your monitor mixes to be different from your main mixes. So that's why those are separate. And then in the back, we've got channel 13 is connected right to my bass amp, because that's just right here in the rack. And then channel 14 is connected to a guitar, or there's a mic on a guitar amp, which just never moves. So that's just in the back here, and I never have to worry about it. And I don't have anything plugged in the front right now, but it's easy to access. So it's nice and flexible based on whatever project you happen to be working on.